Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video and I am so happy to bring to you guys Jhin. So there is this new item that came out which is the absolute perfect Jhin item, which is Stormraiser. Oh my god guys, the game that I'm about to show you and just the sheer power of this item that you're gonna see is actually absurd. Now I'm not saying that Jhin is broken, I'm not saying he's broken, he's just like, he can be really good if you just utilize the item and obviously play Jhin correctly. But more on that during the gameplay part of the video. I'll explain to you exactly how you have to play him. Like, there is kind of a new way and a few things that are new about playing Jhin, but I'll get to that during the gameplay part. So let's now talk about how to build him. There is a few builds. Let me quickly talk about another build that there is. Let me see if it's actually over. No, I'm just gonna show you. So there is a build where you start with Yumo's Ghostblade and then you build the Infinity Edge and then you go for the Stormraiser. I don't like that build, guys. See, the thing is, first of all, it deals less damage to tanks. Secondly, you don't need the Yumo's Ghostblade anymore because you can catch up to enemies anyways with the Stormraiser. Whenever you hit an enemy champion, the Stormraiser is going to slow them so much. Like before, you would use the Yumo's Ghostblade to be able to easily catch up to an enemy, but as I said, you do not need it anymore. Just straight up go for the Infinity Edge for the big crit damage because your fourth bullet is already a guaranteed crit, so the 30% bonus is going to go on your fourth bullet, which is really powerful. And after the Infinity Edge, get the Stormraiser, guys, and this is where you'll be able to like catch out enemies so easily. And this is where you have to shift your playstyle with Jhin. Like, your playstyle is gonna change, but as I said, more on this later during the gameplay part. For the boots that you want to get, you almost always want to go for boots of swiftness. However, if the enemy, actually not almost always, like quite often in 70% of the games, and the other 30% is gonna be Mercury's threats. If the enemies have a lot of stuns, roots, charms, things like that, go for the Mercury sets. It's going to provide more value than the boots of swiftness, because even though you're not going to be as fast, you're going to be able to like, look, even if you're super fast and the enemy stuns you, charms you, roots you, it's not going to be worth it, right? That's why you have to go for Mercury sets against a lot of CC. For your third item, it depends. Does the enemy have a lot of armor? You go for a Mortal Reminder. Do they not have a lot of armor? You go for a Rapid Fire Cannon. And guys, if you get the Rapid Fire Cannon, you're gonna get the bonus range, and your next attack is gonna slow the enemy by a lot. Do you get my point here, guys? Are you starting to understand why this is like a super legit Jhin build? Because if you combine a Rapid Fire Cannon and Stormraiser, like even late game Jhin is going to be useful with this build now. Because you're going to be able to easily catch out enemies with it and do a lot of damage as well. And as my last item, I go for Phantom Dancer just to get that 100% crit. I mean, Guardian Angel... it's good, it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I honestly prefer Phantom Dancer just because it just provides you with more damage, because you're gonna be critting every single shot. But honestly, you can also go for the Guardian Angel. If the enemy has a lot of attack damage, like if they have a Z, for example, that's annoying you a lot, you can get the Guardian Angel, of course, right? And for your enchantment, Stasis Enchant. Just gonna keep you alive, right? Stasis Enchant is gonna be very powerful. Oops. Now for the runes, Fleet Footwork. Always go for Fleet Footwork. This is still the go-to rune on Jhin. For your second rune, it depends. There's a few runes that you can go for. I go for Champion. Champion is high risk, high reward, of course, and it only gives 8% now instead of 10%. It's basically like a free Infernal Dragon, but even better because it gives 8% bonus damage. So in the early game, it's going to be really powerful. However, let me show you something completely different, which is Gathering Storm. What? Gathering Storm? This is the complete opposite of Champion. Yes. Let me tell you, Gathering Storm, even though it doesn't deal that much damage in the early game, the damage that you'll get in the late game is actually really powerful. But the thing is, like, you have to decide yourself. If you look at the enemy composition, for example, if they have a Vayne, you kind of have to destroy her in the early game. But if they have champions like Ezreal or Jinx or Kai'Sa, like, true, they will get good at late game as well. But if you get a Gathering Storm, you can still, like, out-damage them. So that's how you have to decide yourself. Do I really need to win the lane? Get a champion rune. And if you're not comfortable with Jhin yet, get the brutal rune. But if you just want to chill and, you know, just relax in your lane and in the late game completely destroy them still, Gathering Storm. Because with the new build, you can still destroy the enemies in the late game. For your third rune, I really like Hunter Titan. just really nice to have the tenacity on Jhin, right? Where if you get slowed, stunned, charmed, anything like that, it's gonna be reduced to duration. It's just really good. And for your 4th rune, Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. For your spells, always go for Barrier and always go for Flash. So enough about this, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay. Now before getting into the gameplay, you know, this month doing a skin giveaway, giving away 10 skins on my YouTube channel. All you gotta do is put down a comment under the video, and I'm giving away 5 skins on my Instagram as well. And there you gotta put comments under the post as well. Basically the same as YouTube, right? So if you're interested, put down a comment and check out my Insta. But yeah, let's not talk about the video after I zip some water. Okay, so first I want to address a very important thing which you may have ignored before, which is what support do you play with Jhin, right? Like who? Look at where is my Rakan? I thought that my Rakan was there, but he actually chose to walk back. That was really weird. And now he used okay. So what champions do you pick with Jhin? Let's say first of all, Rakan. Rakan is a really good combo with Jhin, because when Rakan knocks them up, you can root them. And basically the whole point of playing Jhin with a support is comboing and allowing you to hit your second ability for free, the root. So then we look at champions like Alistar, who has a knock-up, because when Alistar goes in, you can root the enemies for free. Senna has her second ability, which roots the enemy, allows you to root them for free. Rakan, which has his second ability, Nami, who has her first ability, her ultimate, you know, basically supports with hard CC in the early game. So you do not want to pick Sona, for example, because she does not have hard CC up until level 5. Seraphim is good as well with the root. So do you get it, guys? You want to pick these types of champions. Champions with really good hard CC in the early game. So you can actually root the enemy for super long. So okay, let's talk about laning with Jhin. Laning with Jhin. Oh, here you see. No, I got rooted here. Sad. Laning with Jhin basically revolves around your second ability and your 4th basic attack, the empowered basic attack, right? Oh no. These are basically the main ways that you can win your lane. So about the empowered basic attack, this is when you want to trade with the enemy. When you have the empowered basic attack, the way that you can trade is you use your first ability and then your basic attack. And the reason that it's actually better to first use your first ability is because you'll get the enemy at a lower percent HP, and your empowered basic attack deals bonus damage based on enemies missing HP. So, as I said, you want to use your first ability first, and then your basic attack. If you can, of course, if you can. Oh, he went in? There you see. This is all I really needed. If my like, this is literally all my Rakan has to do. Unfortunately, he wasn't really looking at the map, and the Darius, yeah. It's fine though, I got a kill. But if we do this combo, I will always get a free kill. Always. Oh, so close. No, I screwed up. I still got the kill because I had a barrier. Yeah. This is just sad. Honestly, this was like I went too far. So what happened there, and this is actually a common thing that I see happen, is I forgot that the enemy had a barrier. So this I want to hammer this in your heads, guys. I really want to hammer this in your heads because, as you can see, I make this mistake as well. And the mistake is literally not knowing what summoner spell the enemy has. Now we're talking about Flash, Ignite, Barrier, Ghost, things like that. Always before going into your lane, check out, or before the game starts, really check out what summoner spells your matchup has. So if you're playing in the Baron lane, check what the enemy Baron laner has. If you're playing in the mid lane, check what the enemy mid laner has. You really have to do this. Check if they have an Ignite or a Barrier. If they have an Ignite, of course they're not going to have the Barrier when you dive them. If they have a Barrier, you have to be a bit careful when diving under the turret, for example, because they have a Barrier, right? And that's what got me killed there. I didn't check if Azrael had the Barrier, and I just flashed in and thought that I could kill him. No, he has a Barrier. I'm basically just waiting for my Rakan to engage. He does, and I go in. Boom. It's that simple, guys. Like, it's actually this simple on how to completely demolish the enemy with Jhin. So now a problem arises, guys. You're how do I say this in proper English? You rely, yes, you rely on your support. This is why I don't really like Jhin right now, because you do rely on your support to hit his abilities, right? If your support doesn't hit his abilities, you're never really gonna get those clean combos with your second ability. But if you are playing with a good support, then man, Jhin can be so strong. Oh, sadly I couldn't reach him. With the combo, with the root. Because you're going to be able to root the enemy for like 3 or 4 seconds, depending on what CC your ally has, right? It's insane. So at the point where you can get an item on Jhin, the first item with 24th, you really want to get it. And I actually almost always am able to get it before the first dragon, because I likely get a kill in the early game with Jhin. If I don't get a kill in the early game with Jhin, then I suck, really. But here, I'm not going back, because my team is initiating the fight. Like, obviously, you do not want to let your team alone. We all go on the Irelia, which is questionable. And Darius got his stacks, we're just going to lose this fight. There's no way we win this fight. This is just not good. Like, I didn't have my item. Here you can see, like, if you don't have the Infinity Edge before the first dragon, you're actually not going to be that strong. And as I said, I would rather fight without an item than just leave my team to die, right? But what should have happened is my team should have wasted their time, let me go back and get the item, right? Yeah, they got the dragon. We really couldn't do much about it. So take a look at our composition, guys. As you saw in the chat, Gragas said 0 combo, and I agree with this. Just look at our composition. Sorry. We have Rakan, we have Gragas, we have Jarvan, we have Seraphim, and we have Jhin. These are 5 champions who have CC. Well, Jarvan has his ultimate, right? But I call it CC as well. These are things that we have to combo on the enemy to win. Otherwise, we will not win. Why? Because they have a Darius. If Darius can just run us down, then we're never gonna win. We're not like we have to chain CC them. And another point about Jhin is he pushes turrets super fast. Also in the early game, by the way, before the first dragon, normally no one can actually do a lot of damage. But what is he saying? First rule of fighting Darius: never give him. Whoa, I didn't actually see that in the game. What was I saying? Yeah. Jhin is really fast at pushing turrets, especially with that forced shot. It deals so much damage to turrets. Like, even in the early game, you'll do like 200-300 damage with the shot to turrets. I really don't know what the Rakan is trying to achieve here. Like, the way that you want to play Rakan is use your third ability to your ally, get close to the enemy, and then you knock them up. But it's okay, you know, it's fine. I just want to get this turret. I really want to get this turret. And I'm playing Jhin, and that means that I can just get the turret. And you can see here, like, I literally just got the first turret for free. A free first turret. And with Jhin, you can actually apply a lot of pressure when you're in a 1v1 or a 2v1 situation. Because as I said, Jhin has the second ability, and Jhin has a lot of damage. He just has a lot of burst damage. So these things, like, Jhin doesn't have sustained damage, but he has burst damage, which is really powerful in a situation like that, where I was pushing the turret. My support went back, which is fine. I just want to defend this turret. I don't want to lose a turret, right? But I have to be a bit careful. Okay, let's not talk about the Jhin traps, actually. This is also a very important thing. Jhin traps is basically like Teemo traps, but not as good, right? It's definitely not as good as Teemo traps. It's like mini Teemo traps. But I really like to use them as wards. The damage is not great anymore. The slow is pretty good. It's really good in teamfights. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really good in teamfights to just throw in the middle. But I generally use them as wards, like just extra wards. So when I play Jhin, I have a lot of map control, because I literally have a million wards. As you can see, I have one. I can't actually show it in my face cam. I have one in my bush. Like, you can see, you should be able to see it in my bush. Or is that a ward? Oh, it's a ward. Never mind, never mind. But you'll see. Oh. Oh. I face-checked with Jhin. Now I understand why I picked this game, because I actually made so many mistakes. Wow. That was just horrible. I face-checked with Jhin. Jhin has 0 escapability, guys. Jhin has 0 escapability. You never want to face-check with Jhin. Just let your team do the face checking and then you follow up. Guys, Jhin is not an Ezreal, Jhin is not a Kaisa, Jhin is not, Jhin is not a champion that can escape. Jhin is Jhin. He just fights, but he can't escape. So you never want to face check like I did. That was so stupid. At this point, it's like a bit tilting, honestly. I'm 3-3, but the enemy is just so strong. Their Darius is just so powerful. And all I really want to get right now is, what is that item called? The Storm Razor. And that's the point where the game, well, I was going to say the game changes, but no, the game doesn't change. But that's the point where the playstyle changes and where you can actually, like, you'll see. When I get that item, you'll see, and I will teach you how to utilize that item. Because I never really see anyone use Storm Razor in the new patch. And I want to encourage you to use it on Jhin. Because it's the perfect Jhin item. It's the absolute perfect Jhin item. But now let's actually take a look at what's going to happen. So here we go. Oh, the Gragas ult. It's fine though, but the Gragas ulted him out of my route, which is pretty sad. We should get the dragon. We killed the Senna, Teemo is in bot lane. We can just force a fight here. In a situation like this, where an enemy is in the bot lane and you already killed one of the champions, you're in a 5 versus 3 situation. I could have rooted him there. I don't know why I didn't root him. That was so stupid of me. I should have definitely rooted him. That was actually so idiotic of me. It would have been a free kill on the Ezreal if I rooted him. And talking about that, you should always pay attention which enemy is stunned or CC'd. Stunned, charmed, rooted, right? You never really want to just throw a random second ability because it's incredibly hard to hit. Really, even as a very experienced Jhin player myself, it's incredibly hard to hit because it's so thin. It's like such a thin ability. So you can really only hit it if the enemy is stunned or slowed. Oh, I actually did have the Storm Razor here. Wow, I forgot. So now that I have it, let's talk about the change of playstyle. This is the point where if you get the energized stacks, your first attack on the enemy is going to deal bonus damage and it's going to slow them a lot. It's almost going to root them. It's like almost going to root them because it's a slow of 75%. What does this mean? This means that you can hit the slow attack and immediately root them with your second ability. This is a thing that Jhin can normally not do. Just take a look at the slow. Look. Boom. You saw that quick little slow and I rooted him. You see the power of this now, guys? Do you see the power? You slow the enemy for 1 second and you then immediately hit your root on them. Just, and then you root them for 2 more seconds. So it snowballs, like the effect of the item snowballs. Because normally, as I said, you're never going to be able to hit your second ability for free unless the enemy is stunned. But now you can even hit it for free in a 1v1 situation when catching out an enemy. And this item also allows you to just, like, if you see a squishy enemy, boom, hit an attack and you'll catch them and they cannot escape. Because, see, the thing is, when they try to escape, obviously they're going to get slowed, but then they can run again. But while they're trying to run again, you're already almost going to have the item up again. And you're just going to slow them again. Do you get do you get how good this can be, guys, if you play it correctly with Jhin? This item is actually an absolute jam on Jhin. A jam on Jhin. Man, try to say that 3 times. A jam on Jhin. Okay, wait, let me try again. A jam on Jhin. I actually can't say it. You should try it yourself. You should actually try it yourself. Look at how fast I'm pushing turrets, guys. Like, I see 4 people in the bot lane. Oh, the Teemo is here. But look at what's gonna happen. He's chasing me. I slow him with the Storm Razor. I root him. And I escape. So now you even have escapability on Jhin, guys. And earlier on I mentioned that you have 0 escapability. It's actually not true. You have a little bit of escapability, which is hitting a basic attack on the enemy and then rooting them. Because if they chase you, it's basically a free route. But still, like, if you're pretty low, it's not really escapability. You're just rooting the enemy for like 1.5, 2 seconds. But yeah, you can do that, of course. Let's take a look at what's gonna happen here. There's an Ezreal right there. If I can just hit a basic attack on him, but I couldn't. So I got the red buff. Ooh, this guy is aggressive. Look at how tanky he is, man. Here I just used my ultimate because I was like, yeah, sure, let's just hit the Ezreal with the ultimate. I dealt some damage, but... So the thing about the ultimate is a lot of people say that the ultimate doesn't deal any damage, and I guess I kinda agree. It doesn't really deal damage unless the enemy is low. So the ultimate deals more damage based on the enemy's HP, guys. So I recommend you to use the ultimate like later on in the team fight when there is a few enemies at like 60, 50% HP, things like that. Well, it would be even better if they're at like 30% HP, of course, but that's not really gonna happen always. So if you've already done a little bit of damage to the enemy in a team fight, that's when you want to use your ultimate, not in the beginning of a team fight. So here we're gonna fight. Oh, I got the root. That was beautiful. Look at my positioning here. I'm positioning over the wall, but what I do is I go on the Senna. And I actually like what I did here, but this is what I don't like. The flash was so bad. But I got 2 kills. I also killed the Darius, which is really, really nice. But sadly, the Team Ho killed me. This was just not a good fight. So it was good for me to go on the Senna, because as a Jhin, you want to go on the squishy targets. And Senna is a really squishy target, and she's their support. So it would be really valuable if I would have killed her. What was I gonna say? But yeah, flashing into the enemy like that? No, that was yet again a big mistake. A big mistake. Like, that was just so stupid. As a Jhin, you want to maintain distance. Just maintain distance. Harass them with your basic attacks. Harass them with your traps. Harass them with your abilities. That's what you want to do. You don't want to flash into the enemy because you don't want to be melee. Like, come on, guys. When you play Jhin, you don't want to be melee distance. You want to be in a range distance. And here there's a dragon, and our jungler didn't have his smite. He didn't have his smite. That's just sad. That's honestly just sad. They got another dragon, which is really bad for us. But yeah, it's just like these are the moments that are like, you know, you feel so sad about it, but you just have to move on. And I know it's hard, but you just have to focus on the game and focus on what's coming next, which is the Baron. Here you can see how easy it is for the enemy to dodge your second ability. You saw that? All the Darius had to do was just a quick little sidestep. So I really want to say how important it is to use your second ability properly, right? Either after the Storm Razor or if the enemy is stunned. You're barely gonna hit it otherwise. Unless you, of course, are predicting where the enemy is moving. If the enemy is trying to escape or something like that. Or here, like something like that. That's also fine. But it's gonna be hard to hit. So I already have my, I already have 3 items, which is pretty good. I have my Storm Razor. I am pretty strong right now. Even though they have 2 dragons, I am just pretty strong. And with Storm Razor, like, as I said, your first attack is gonna be the real powerful one. But here you can see it's like pretty useless against Darius, just because he's so tanky. So what I do instead, I ignore Darius, I just use my ult to go on the squishy targets. And I hope that now you guys are seeing how to use the ultimate. We were midway through the fight, enemies were at 50% HP, and that's where my ultimate was able to completely demolish them, guys. That's how you can demolish them. There is a random Senna over here. My team went for the Darius, while it was a free Baron. Oh. These are the moments that do tilt me. Why did they go for the Darius? Why, man? Just go for the Baron. Why would you go for the stupid Darius? Like, why? Why? It was a free Baron, and like me and who was it? Me and another guy were doing Baron, but my teammates they lost 2 versus 1 against the Darius, and then we couldn't do Baron anymore. Oh, that was. This is tilting. This is just tilting. Okay, I don't have anything to say about this. You're allowed to get tilted at this. Okay, you are allowed to get tilted at this, and yeah. Oh, but okay, let's reset. New life. So here I'm telling my team, you know, you have to look at your strengths and weaknesses, of course. Our strengths are combos, but our weaknesses are if we miss our combos, because they have a Darius. If we don't combo the enemies, Darius is gonna steamroll all of us. And I always say it in every single video of mine, look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, and decide how you want to fight. Oh, I want to talk about my build right now, which is Rapid Fire Cannon and Storm Razor. So I get the bonus range, Yeah, I'm focusing on the Darius because he's at low HP. And look at that. Look at just I just killed the Darius from 70% HP with my ultimate. Oh, that was good. That was almost a perfect fight on the Jhin, guys. That was like almost perfect. It was so good. Where is the Ezreal? Look at this. Just look at this. Look at this. I'm chasing the Ezreal. So I have Storm Razor and Rapid Fire Cannon. Both of them. Boom! Look at look at that. This is the new Jhin, guys. You're gonna slow the enemy, and you're gonna have the bonus range because of the Rapid Fire Cannon. We should do Elder Dragon. Like at this point, we shouldn't do Baron. Elder Dragon is way better than Baron, guys. In a situation like this, do the Elder Dragon, especially Elder Infernal Dragon. Pooh, if you get that thing, it's almost guaranteed a win, almost. Unless you can still screw up, of course. But man, now we're gonna get the Elder Infernal. I can't talk sometimes. We almost killed our Jarvan. I'm here just using my ultimate. I just don't want to lose this Elder Dragon. It's kind of funny. Like I just use my ultimate. That's honestly. Look at this damage. Just look. What is that? Oh, look at this. I'm alive. I'm alive, baby. So this is so strong, man. When you get full build, by the way, the amount of damage Jhin deals against squishies is insane. But the thing is, when you're against tanks, like Malphite or Darius, for example, if he goes for tank, you're still gonna deal 0 damage. And, you know, it is what it is. I really don't have much to say about it. All I have to say is just avoid the tanks, really. You're not gonna kill tanks. You're really not gonna kill tanks. Even if you have a Mortal Reminder, you're still not going to be able to kill tanks just because of the way that Jhin works. He just doesn't deal damage against tanks. Although he destroys squishy targets. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Especially with the Storm Razor. Let's see. Look at the damage. Getting the red buff so fast. Yeah, we have the Elder Inferno as well now. That's the funny thing about it. So here I got a Phantom Dancer in this game, just because I wanted to have 100% crit. As I said, as a last item, it depends. There's actually more items that you can get that I mentioned. You can get Maw of Marmortius if the enemy has a lot of ability power. Maw of Marmortius could be a good item then. You could get Guardian Angel if the enemy have champions like Rengar, like Zed, that are just completely demolishing you, because first of all it gives armor, and secondly it's a Guardian Angel. Phantom Dancer is just good if you want to do a lot of damage. Now the reason that I'm still going Phantom Dancer and not Static Shift, for example, there you saw me actually utilize the Storm Razor again, by the way, if you want to rewind, is because you still want to have the passive of Phantom Dancer, just because you're Jhin, right? You don't really have a lot of escapability, and it's just really powerful. And now I hope you guys are now seeing the power of Jhin, guys. Jhin is actually so... No, he's not so powerful. He actually still sucks. But you can make him work with the Storm Razor. That's what I want to say. I don't want to give you false hopes, because Jhin still sucks. I really hope they're going to buff him one day. Like here you can see, I did quite a lot of damage. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.